where do these phonograms fit into the weekly lessons? So first of all, at the start of every day, you're going to have a warm-up time. We're going to warm up with phonograms. So every day we're going to review phonograms. We're going to read the cards. Again, that can be flashing the cards, or we can do some kind of a little warm-up game. And every day I'm going to quiz. I'm going to quiz. What I like to do is just 10. I've taught 70 phonograms. I'm going to just quiz 10. Okay, just a quick quiz. And I'm going to quiz whatever we need for that day. If I'm teaching 10 new spelling words, I'm going to look at those words and I'm going to see, are there any multi-letter phonograms that are needed? And so those are going to show up on my quiz, because then the child will have had some practice with those phonograms. So now when I go to teach, he's ready. He's like, oh, I remember that one, because he just practiced it in the quiz. With beginners, the kindergarten first graders, my quiz might include single letter phonograms, because they're still learning how to write them. They're still learning, oh, that's right, the letter K, it's K. I don't say the letter K, I'm just saying they're learning that phonogram. With the advanced students, my primary focus is the multi-letter phonograms, because they learn the single letter phonograms very quickly, but it's the multi-letter phonograms that they need a lot of practice. Is that information in the book? The phonograms needed for the quiz. Okay, so first of all, the whole idea of giving a quiz is on page 40 of your Spell to Write and Read book. And then what do you quiz? Look at your WISE guide. So when you're getting ready to go into teaching a new list of spelling words, look at your WISE guide for the preliminaries. And in fact, that was what I was just going to talk about. And you know what? I don't have my WISE guide with me. But if you open, I'm going to pretend. Can you do that for a moment? Can you pretend that this is a WISE guide? And you open it up, and 2 pages. I can't believe I did not bring my WISE guide over here, but that's okay. This 2 pages is a spelling list. And if you look at this part of the page in the WISE guide, I am showing you the wrong book, but pretend for a moment that this is the WISE guide. And up here is where you would find the preliminaries for your lesson. And that will tell you what are the phonograms that need to be practiced. Personally, I just looked down the list of the words I'm going to be teaching, and there I have my list. So that's the way I do it. There's also instructions there as to what needs practice. Are there any other concepts that you need to teach? That kind of thing. So we talked last week about practicing phonograms by playing games, and I showed you some of the phonogram games that we carry. The Phonogram Fun Packet, Phonogram Bingo. There's a book that has all kinds of games where you don't really need anything but your home or the classroom, and you've got things around you. You can hop and jump and skip and all kinds of things that you can do to play games. My preference is to save games for the end of the week when we have a short lesson day anyway, because we're pretty much just doing our little warm-up, and then we take a test. And so it's a short day, and so that's a great day to do phonograms. It's some kind of a game, and spend a little bit more time with that. Okay, so again, mastery of these phonograms is going to come as you work with them. Okay, I am not expecting mastery from the beginning. And we're going to practice with the cards every single day. When the student is bringing the phonograms into the spelling list, as you're working on the spelling lesson, practicing reading our phonograms, as the child is applying and practicing the rules that govern the phonograms, we have a marking system that we use that reinforces phonograms and the spelling rules. All of that comes together, and then the student is going to get to the point where you can flash those cards. In fact, we get to the point where we time them, and the goal is that they can read the phonograms, just the sounds, not with all the dialogue, but they can read just the sounds in 70 seconds or less. And I had students this year that taught me how to flash fast enough that we could actually do that. In the past, I could not flash fast enough to go faster than 90 seconds. And some of my students said, oh no, I can do it in 65. And I'm like, how? I can't flash that fast. And I'm talking about moving the cards. And so one of my students showed me, I'm going, I got it. Okay. So, and we were able to get down to 70 seconds. So when we're first starting to teach the phonograms, let me clarify what I just said. When we first start teaching the phonogram, all of the dialogue is involved. And so, for example, when the student sees this card, they would say, oi, that we may not use at the end of English words. That entire dialogue goes with that phonogram. Okay, E, A. There's no rule, so I just say the sounds. Oi, that we may not use at the end of English words. The of first. O, that we may use at the end of English words. A, two-letter A, that I may use at the end of English words. So all of that dialogue is part of what we do when we do our phonogram review. When I give a quiz, I will say, write a two-letter A that we may use at the end of English words, and they know which phonogram to write. But when the student is absolutely just going like that, and they can read them fast, and they've got that dialogue down, and they're just really, hot stuff, then one of the things we do is at least once a week, we will practice reading the cards, just the sounds. So, E, A, oi, O, A, aw, E, I, So I go like that. And that way, we're really, really working on instant recognition of just the sounds. We've already learned. We're really, really good at all the dialogue. About once a week, maybe twice a week, we'll work on reading just the sounds. And that is what we're timing when we get to the point where they need to be able to read them in 70 seconds. So how do we learn the phonograms to the point that they have, we meet our goal for instant recognition in both reading and writing? Practice. Daily practice. We do that at the beginning of the lesson, and then as we teach our new spelling words for the week, we are introducing those phonograms in the context of words. We use the marking system to reinforce them, and that is how we really give a good global understanding of the phonograms. Let me just say we also have the advanced phonograms. I talked about those a little bit last week when I showed you the phonogram cards. So there are some phonograms, like here, we have some Greek phonograms. These are more irregular. They're not used as often. They're in higher level vocabulary. We will start introducing the advanced phonograms when we hit list N2. N as in Nancy, 2. And so if you look in your scope and sequence in the Spell to Write and Read book, you will find at step 38 information about the advanced phonograms. The advanced phonogram cards are not required. This is an optional item. Personally, I really appreciate being able to use them. And once my student has been exposed to them, they go into my learned stack, and we practice those. And so that becomes part of my repertoire of tools that I use, but they are not required. And you can, just make your own cards if you want with the information from step 38. There's information there on what it says and what we call it. Like this is the Greek s. This is the Greek s. And an example would be psychic, psychology. Those kinds of words have that phonogram. Psalm, the book of Psalms. Okay, so that's an example of that.